And that is Turuttiparambil house, Malaparamba, Kozhikode. It is a 3,650 square feet single story house. And now let's hear the judgment. And to our judges, Arun, for the exterior.
It's a very pleasing house, not much of frills, very simply done. The porch becomes the center part of the whole house in the front. It's got enough frontage. The form is slope roof and the color is grey, the roof color is grey. It's a single story house and it really feels down to the earth. Though it has slightly tall rooms, from the external facade when you look at it, you find taller rooms. We can see a lot of wood being used for the doors, teak wood, and that's about it. It looks really nice from the first
Okay. What do you think, Anna?
I think they've kept the landscaping very natural, minimal plants, and that complements with the house very well. One suggestion I have is, if they had kept the windows full length, they've used wood to cover part of the window. If they had bigger windows, they've got such a beautiful landscape, they could have enjoyed more of the outdoor from inside. And the paving tiles, the roof tiles, the cladding, everything has a connection. There is a difference in texture. They've used natural stones for the paving, and so there is a connection, and it complements very well with the landscape. And another thing they've missed out is they've kept the AC's outdoor units facing the front. Oh. That's actually ruining the elevation of the house. They could have planned and kept it somewhere hidden. And we noticed there is a small sit-out area, and behind that there is an external courtyard, which is very nice. It's not like you're sitting facing the car porch only. There's a small garden behind that sit-out. That's done very well. So on the whole, I really like the simple and nice, it's a very good elevation.
Now moving on to the interior.
As soon as we enter into the porch, we get to see the ceiling on the wooden ceiling, which is actually continuing throughout the house. It is given a continuity character right from the sit-out onwards, and the same thing is continued throughout the interior. The spaces are really well defined, sitting areas are very clearly defined, the colors are very subtle and pleasing when comparing to each other, and they have a relate between the rooms, and it relates to the exteriors. That is the important thing which we should note here. The kitchen is also well kept on a side. The courtyard ambience is also felt into the interiors. So I think spatially it's well planned.
Okay. Anna, do you agree with him or?
One thing I must say is the wooden ceiling. It's very rich, very classy, and very tasteful also. And they've tried to make it look good by directing light onto it. That's a very good point I noted here. And I also noticed a partition between living and the passage. So they've done it in such a way that they are not blocking the light or the air. But still there is a partition. That is very good. And in the living room you see a lot of textures. There is this wooden paneling which is like three-dimensional, and there is a textural wall which is of the same color, but if you notice, it's not of the same smoothness. There is some sort of play of texture there. And the flooring, they've gone for Italian marble, and they've given wooden skirting for it. Okay. So that flooring is also enhanced because of that contrast of that wood and Italian marble. And they've got very simple furniture which are of the right scale. The sofas don't have handrests or something, again giving it a very clean and open feeling. Not at all disturbing. Like then you see there's an office space in between two bedrooms. So that means that's a common place to keep your computer and things, and both bedrooms, both the people using the bedrooms can use that computer and that office space. That's a good planning point. The dining room could have had a little less of wood. I felt there was a little too much of wood there. I like the kitchen. They've tried small glass mosaics as a backsplash, which is different and interesting. I like the pass through to kitchen from the dining room. And avideyum avare details kodutittundu. Kunju light, there is something below that counter. So on the whole, they've paid attention and it's come out well.
Okay. And what about the kitchen?
Kitchen, I couldn't help noticing the old kind of stove. If they can replace it by something little more modern, it would have been nice. I love the wall of the kitchen. So it's a simple, clutter-free kitchen. It's good.
And Arun?
I would say the same, except for the stove on the counter and the chimney, which stands out like anything. Means there is nothing to
Hide it.
support the whole thing throughout, and the connect is lost between the other shelves on the wall. But otherwise, I think it's a pretty decent kitchen with